Well, we know it shoots. Now it's time for the accuracy test.
Accuracy test. So, run. What?
What do you mean?
I mean run. Now. Get up! Hang the target. Stand very still. Hold still. Don't be afraid. It is accurate. Welcome back, everybody. Comment below if you know what movie that intro was loosely and terribly done on. Name of the movie. I'll give you a hint. It has a lot to do with today's topic. Today's topic is the PSA JAKL. Everything from unboxing, first impressions, a few little problems that we ended up having, how I have mine set up, and how it's going overall. I've got about 900 rounds or so through this gun, and well, let's just wait and see.
Okay, first off we have our no frills whatsoever Palmetto State Armory box. It's a new design from the Brown, but this is the part that is important. Made in America. Opening up the box, we see we have our PSA JAKL. Obviously the brace is not currently attached. A2 style bird cage, M-lock rail, covered in oil, our JAKL depiction right there, and the A2 style grip. Comes with your manual and one magazine. The one magazine it does come with is a standard AR one instead of the 300 blackout one. And here's a quick comparison. You can see the follower ramp on the 300 blackout is slightly different on the right side. Okay, let's start going over the PSA JAKL, and we'll do it just like Big Daddy Flannel taught us, tip to butt. Starting out at the tip, it comes with a flash hider from the factory. You can see I switched this one out for a 3-prong micro brake to go with my Whisper Pickle. Moving back, we have a monolithic type receiver up top here, and before we go too far, this is our piston adjustment because the JAKL is a piston driven gun. It actually has 6 different settings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I find that running suppressed now anyway, it can do just fine on setting 1 or setting 2 if it's unsuppressed. I was actually at setting 3 and 4 initially when I got it, even running suppressed, and I have a theory as to why. M-lock handguard, you can see I have my Surefire Streamlight ProTech rail mount HLX and air socket mount on that with the switch cap, and just direct mounted over here to my M-lock rail. Pretty standard, should look familiar. AR controls, no ambidextrous safety, just a standard mil spec. Same with the trigger, it might be enhanced. Trigger was pretty bad from the factory. I ended up doing some polishing on that. It made it a little bit better. I also changed out the grip. I switched to the Magpul, the K2 Plus, I believe it is. I like these a lot more. However, I noticed that when I shoulder it, don't watch this ATF. It's a brace. It's a brace. I come up and my wrist here is angled quite significantly. I know Bravo Company or, yeah, I think it's Bravo Company. There's a B series, more vertical type grip. I'm going to look into getting one of those. I think that'll be much more fitting for this short pistol setup. This is the dedicated lower setup that comes with the JAKL. If you buy it whole, you can buy just the upper and then get this attachment set up and buffer tube delete, if you will. The triangle folder brace, very nice. However, there's just a little bit of a detent there to hold it closed. I wish it was a little more affirmative or locking even. You just lift up on this portion here and that unlocks it. It seems like they could have done the same thing and we could just lift up and unlock it. One change I'd like. Picatinny rail around the back. You can figure out whatever brace or if you want to SBR it later on. Moving to the other side. Again, standard AR lower controls, mag release. And there I go, touching off my pad. You can see I chose the primary arms. 3 power, micro, ACSS reticle, and this is actually made for 762 and 300 blackout. Non-reciprocating charging handle. We're going to go ahead and take this down, go through over some of the parts, and talk about some of the issues that I initially had, and I think they have self-corrected, however that might have happened. You can see we separated our upper and lower. Looking at the lower here, you can see about this adapter slash buffer tube delete that I talked about. This comes as a kit if you want to do this with your own lower that you'll have to end up buying. The JAKL will take all standard AR controls, AR safety selectors. I think I will definitely be changing this out to an AMB mag release and a 45 throw selector. Trigger, I might live with, I don't know. Comes to our upper, as you can see, something needs to be done in order to get this out. You just go back here, push on this little tab. There we go. Remove our recoil spring. And then our whole long stroke piston system will come free. If we want to remove the charging handle and the carrier it's attached to, you must first pull this pin out, and you can even switch to the other side so it can be ambidextrous. And we're going to pull this out once we get it to the right position, which is right about there. Alright, that's done. And we can move this to the rear and remove it from the pistol. I know initially people were having problems with the first generation. I think a crack developing right here. That has since been fixed, and you can see this is a lot thicker piece of metal. Maybe I'll insert a picture if I can find one. So this is like their Gen 2 where this has been beefed up. PSA, I understand, took care of that with no issues. We'll set our upper aside and take a look at our long stroke piston system. Very remnant of the AK platform, if you're familiar with that. If you're not, get an AK. Everyone should own at least 3. And an issue that I was having initially is I thought that on the inside, when I stuck my bore scope down the barrel, where the gas exits the barrel itself to cycle the long stroke system, there was a lot of brass building up there. I'm going to insert some pictures or some video right here. And that was a concern of mine because I was also initially getting an MOA of like 4, 5 at 50 yards. And that was less than ideal. I didn't think that was supposed to be that inaccurate. I even messed with the ammo a little bit and had some improvement. So I ended up calling or getting a hold of PSA and creating a ticket. Something else I ended up noticing was on the piston itself, there was a lot of copper buildup. And that copper buildup didn't seem typical because I can look at my AK, or how about if we do that right now? It's a PSA AK. Lock our trigger back and take a look. So you can see the tip of the AK piston, while it's carbon fouled, because I've never cleaned this gun, well, unless you count pouring some back on it, because that's what I hear the Russians do, there's no carbon buildup, or there's no copper buildup on it. There isn't even the slightest little hint of a copper color. Now let's go to this, the JAKL. You can still see a little bit of copper color to it. When I first got it and took it apart, shot those few rounds and had the issue, there was a lot of copper buildup on that. So where the gas port was from the barrel, it looked like it was shaving off quite a bit of the jacket, which would cause an accuracy issue and cause the buildup of the copper on the head of the piston. I contacted PSA, put in a work order. I said, hey, so I noticed this. I'm having this issue. And also, I noticed, if you look at the front of the upper, it's ever so slight, but this gap here is much narrower than this gap here. And you can tell it even more when you look, the gas block is hitting the M-LOK rail here and not over here. I was thinking maybe a bent barrel, some other issue that's also causing accuracy problems. They ended up getting back to me rather quickly, so kudos to your customer service department.
And they said, nope, nope, everything there is normal. You should be good. The accuracy, try some different ammo, see how it goes. So I shot more rounds through it. I noticed the buildup of copper on the piston pretty much stopped. It's just a lot of carbon buildup, and that's it. My guess is there was a burr or something on that gas port, and it was causing jacket to be shaved off, accuracy to degrade, and that copper buildup to end up in the gas piston system. So as I shot more rounds through it, once I got to about 400 rounds through the gun, I noticed the accuracy went down to about 1 MOA, 1.25. It loves this AAC 125 Supersonic. I haven't gotten subsonics through it yet, but it loves this stuff. This is the most accurate stuff I've used. Granted, I've only used 3 types of ammo. The ammo incorporated, 150 grain full metal jacket, it absolutely hates. So with that said, keep that in mind. So overall, let's go over the likes and gripes. Ooh, I like that. I'm going to use that from now on. So when I do a review, we're going to go over likes and gripes. And we'll do it in reverse order. The brace is actually pretty stout. It's a little flexible at the bottom here, but I do like the adjustment that it has right here. To go up and down, you can kind of fit it to your body. Absolutely love the optic. You choose your optic. It's only a 3 power, but just being able to keep both eyes open and have that donut of death on there, it's very usable at close range and all the way out to easily, I think the bullet drop compensation set out to like 200 or 300 yards. I like the AR type control group and the ability to change these out as we see fit. The trigger that came from the factory, not great. We'll ghost it just like Big Daddy Flannel taught us. Do that together. Just a little bit of creep. And break. Let's check that reset. Lots of travel, lots of travel. There it is. Creep, and then the break. And 5 pounds, 10 ounces. 5 pounds, 9.6 ounces. Pretty consistent, but like I said, I did polish this up quite a bit before I ended up using it, just because the trigger was probably another 1.5 pounds or so heavier. Again, it's something you can change out, and for the price of this platform, yeah, I'm not going to give it too much gripe on that. The receiver right here, you can see how this is cut out for a standard mil-spec bolt release. I really like the Strike Industries oversized one and different options you can get on the market. I almost would have preferred if they would have made a little more room for that to be an option. Quick release swivel for your slings. So one thing I don't like about this type swivel is once we get our thing in there, it just spins all over the place. I like the ones with the detents that are on the inside and they lock it in place, especially something that's so close to the grip right here. You can see how this being down can end up causing a little bit of discomfort or issue, like so. Also, I like the ones that are reinforced with steel. This is aluminum. With use, this is going to kind of become bigger and not as effective. Not a lot to say about the M-LOK rail. It's very nice. It's thick. It's beefy. The whole monolithic upper is really nice. The gas settings on the pistol itself, very nice. I like this a lot. This really lets you dial in your gas system for the ammo you're using, whether or not you're using a whisper pickle or not. And it's a feature that I think all piston systems should have. I'm not knocking any particular HK. Excuse me. If you have a pistol rifle, it should be an adjustable gas system. Plain and simple. But that's just my stupid asshole opinion. QD connect for your sling up here. Same gripe. It's not reinforced and it doesn't have the detents to hold it in particular positions. You know what? Let's take a look at the barrel and see if we see any difference with that gas port. So I think that was a self-correcting problem. We did end up having a burr there. Shooting it was the solution. Unfortunately, it's an expensive solution because 300 blackout ammo, it ain't cheap. It ain't cheap at all. But luckily the gun is affordable. I won't say cheap. So future changes for sure. The more vertical pistol grip, I think, from B5. And overall, this thing has been great to me. I've had zero issues with malfunctions until I was actually messing with the gas system, trying to dial it in, and especially initially, like I was saying, it was a bit touchy. It needed an extra gas, likely because of that drag
that we were seeing due to that gas port having a mar or something on it that was stripping off parts of the jacket. I am getting 1.25 MOA from that AAC ammo. I haven't tried any subsonics yet. Great little bump in the night gun. I like it a lot. I look forward to shooting a lot more with it. And actually, I think I'm going to take this to the cover and movement rifle portion of the MDFI class that I'm going to go to next year. So overall, if you're looking for a 300 blackout, I believe the PSA JAKL will fit the bill great. It will give you a little money left in your pocket to accessorize it, put your flashlight, your optic on it, a couple other extra boxes of ammo, and it won't break the bank like some of the $2,000 and $3,000 options that are out there. It's a good thing to start into 300 blackout. That's what I have ended up using it for. Will I get more 300 blackouts in the future? Well, that's for a future video. And this isn't where I'm going to ask you to like or subscribe. This is where I'm going to ask you to take a new shooter, a child, a son, daughter, cousin, nephew, niece, grandkid. Take them out, teach them about firearms, firearms safety and firearms responsibility, and how it's a great, great history and an important pillar of our country and its founding. Because if they end up falling in love with guns, they're never going to have money for drugs. We'll see you next time.